Right, in this video we'll look at the submit button here, which means we can basically edit the data there and submit it back to backendless, and how to delete a new user. Okay, so in the submit button, what we want to do now, and remember the user can change now any one of these fields. So again, the user are able to delete everything there and try and submit it like this. So we need to test first if everything is empty or not. So I'm going to test if etname .getText .toString .isEmpty or etmail .getText .toString .isEmpty or ettel .getText .toString .isEmpty. So if any one of those are empty, we cannot do this. So if the user has not typed anything there and he wants to submit, we can't submit a contact with an empty contact or an email or a what. So that is what we're going to do here. We're going to say a toast there, and we're going to ask the user, please enter all details. Now for the rest of this application, or the rest of this specific btn submit, for the else part there is that it's not empty, everything has got data in it, and we want to change this contact now. So now we're going to refer back to the application class, and we go to that contacts, and remember in your application class, this contacts now is a list of all of your contacts. So in that contacts, we want to get the specific contact that we want to edit now. So it's going to be get, remember the index value that we passed through. So that is the contact that we want to basically change. And on that, we're going to use set, or one of the setters. So if it's the number that was changed or whatever, but we won't know. So we're going to try and set all of them. So I'm going to say set name as the first one, and that will be from etname.getText.toString.trim. Right, so that's the name. So we're going to do the same thing again for the other three, or other two. We have three of them. So the next we're going to set the, I think we call it number, set the number to be ettel.getText.toString.trim, and the last one will be the name, the number, and I think it was the email, set email, and this one was set mail. Okay, so basically on our contacts list, we're setting the name, the number, and the email. So remember that this contact came from backendless. So that backendless objects are all in here, and we're referring to one specific one at that index value where we clicked. And we're setting the name, the number, and the email on that specific contact. Now, after you've done this, you've basically changed your contact list, and now we want to send this one object, this one contact, to backendless for an update. So I'm going to say show progress, set it to true. On TV load, we can set the text as updating contact ... please wait ... Right, and then we can actually go into backendless. So we can say backendless.persistence.save, and you can see it looks the same way as we're saving or creating a new contact. But remember now, this contact that we have here already has an object ID. So by sending an object that already has an object ID, we'll update that specific object. Okay, so we're going to say backendless.persistence.save, and then the next one that you need to pass in here is the object itself. So we're going to go to the application class .contacts.getIndex, and that's the object that we want to update. And then we will just go to new async callback, and that updates my contact for me in backendless. Right, so now in handle fault, we can go and say toast, and let's say error plus fault.getMessage again. Right, and then remember to show progress, set it to false. Now in handle response, this is when this contact was actually now updated, and there's a link to that contact that was updated. So remember now, here we've changed the data, and the user also typed the data there, so it's changed. But these two will not be changed. So when the guy clicks on submit and everything went fine, we need to change these two as well. So that one is TV name and TV char. So we're going to set them up quickly. So if everything is fine, we're going to go to TV char. We're going to set the text again, and the text will be application class dot contacts dot get index dot get name. That's the name of the guy, but we want to convert it to uppercase and get the character at position 0. And just remember to add a space there, or just empty text. So that is basically setting the text back to that one, and then we also want to set the text back to TV name. So I think I'm just going to copy this again, take that, paste it. This one will now become TV name, and we will get the name, but we will not convert it to uppercase or any of those, just the name. Right, and then that should be it. So we're going to show a toast then again to the user and tell the user contact successfully updated, and then we will show the progress and we'll set in false. Right, so let's see if this one works. So this submit button will get the changes, set the changes on our list, also go to backendless and change it there, and then basically we set the text on those two, show the toast, and we stop showing the progress. So now if the user will see now, let's stop and run and see how it does when we click on the back button to update the list view as well. So that we already did with the start activity for result. So that should work. So we'll just test it now. Right, there we're logging in. List of contacts. There's John Rambo, and you can see John Rambo's there. Click there, there's the edit, there's the email. So let's say we're changing the email to .co.za instead of .com, and we're going to say submit. Updating the contact, please wait. You can see it's .co.za there. So what we can do is click back, and it should say .co.za there as well. So you can see this list view has been updated as well. And even if I go back and I click on the list of contacts, it should be updated on backendless also .co.za. So if we go to the website and you refresh there, your email for John Rambo should be .co.za. Okay, so let's just go back here and let's change something else there. Click on John Rambo and let's call him John Peters instead of John Rambo, and then save. So you can see John Peters there, online, John Peters. Let's click back, John Peters. Okay, so everything was updated successfully. Now the last thing for this video is to quickly go and do the delete button there. So what we want to do now is if we click on delete, we want to ask the user first, are you sure that you want to delete? Because you can accidentally click on delete and then it just deletes the contact. So we want the user to ask, or first ask him, do you want to delete this specific contact? Okay, so let's go to the coding, Android Studio. The button is where IV delete. So let's go into this section. So we want to do that alert dialog first. So I'm going to say final alert dialog and make sure it's that version 7. So if you go to imports there at the top, make sure it's the support version 7 alert dialog. Where are we now? There we go. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to use the builder one there. So it's alert dialog.builder. I'm going to call it dialog equals new alert dialog.builder. And then you need to pass in the context here. So I'm going to say contact info.this. And that's fine then. So now on this dialog object, I'm going to set a message. So choose set message. And the message will be something like, are you sure you want to delete the contact? And then close it off. And then the next one, we want to have two buttons to let the user choose yes or no. So I'm going to say set positive button, and the text for the positive button will be okay. And then for the next argument, we will say new on. And the on again will take the dialog interface.onClick listener, and it opens up the rest for you. So this will happen inside of this onClick when he clicks OK. So here we will delete it actually. And then we'll also have a negative button. So we're going to say .set negative button, and the text will be no, and then new on again. Right. So now we've got the two buttons there. There's a positive button, there's a negative button, and then after that we can say dialog.show, which will start showing your dialog. So if he says no, we do not want to do anything because it's just going to cancel the whole dialog. But when he clicks on the positive button, we want to now delete this specific contact. So here we will start showing the progress again, set it to true, and it will start showing the progress. Also set the text on that load edit text, text view, and we will say something like deleting contact, please wait. Now in order to delete this specific person on backendless or this contact on backendless, we're going to say backendless.persistence again .of, and we need to indicate the class or the specific table in backendless to delete it from contact.class.remove. And then you can see we're going to use this one that says we want the entity. So what is the entity? It's in the application class dot contacts, the one that we want to remove, dot get, and we're going to go to the index again. So that's the one we want to remove. And then the second argument is going to the new async callback again. Okay, and I'm going to close it off there. Just open it up a bit bigger. So basically we're saying go to the contact table and remove this specific object, which is that contact that we selected. Okay, now in handle fault, we can just say toast error fault.getMessage. And then in handle response is where we now know that this specific contact is now been deleted. So now we must remember that if we go back, if we click there delete and we click on back, we want to also update this list view, which means that in the application class .contacts, we need to also remove the specific object at that index value. So also in the contacts, we'll remove it, but only when we get to handle response, which means it was successfully removed online. So we also remove it now on the phone to show in the list view. Then we'll show the toast and tell the user that everything has been successful. So we'll say contact successfully removed. Then because we're going to finish down this activity, I'm going to set the result. Remember, this activity starts for a specific result, and I'll set the result as result is okay. And then we can just close off this activity. So it's contact info.this.finish. And then we're done. Okay, so basically, when he clicks on delete, we ask him, are you sure you want to delete? If he clicks on OK, we start showing the progress. Tell him that we're deleting the contact, please wait. Update, if it's done and everything's fine, we update our own contact list, show him the toast, and then close down the activity. Right, let's check out this one quickly. So let's run. Let's also go to backendless quickly to see if we can delete. Right, so there we are logging in again. Go to list of contacts. Let's click on John Peters again. We can again edit it, or we can delete. So if I click on delete, are you sure you want to delete? If I say no, nothing happens. If I click OK, it now deletes John Peters. And you can see when we go back to contacts, we can only see Peter Pan. And now you can see on online also, it's only Peter Pan. Even if I go out and I refresh my list of contacts, I will also only get Peter Pan. This is then the end of the video for a series of videos where we created an application that uses the basic features of backendless. So I hope that after these videos, you've got a clear idea of how backendless works.